in a tunebread.com.
Papi, why you coming for your breathing like that?
My daughter. Hey, my daughter, yeah. The old people can say that curiosity kill the cow. What your own problem again?
Papi, I really don't have problem. But the way you breathing, sir, it's like you're running so well.
My daughter, yaka. If I give you the little G's, you yourself will be running to the same player running. So you just hold it there.
Papi, Papi, play on me now, lay on me. You know I your daughter too now.
My daughter, guess what? I had to run away from Wego. Yaka. Tuesday and Thursday, they got one show in town they call it Logan's Hour. Man, that ball can talk the thing that are happening in Indiana. Even when you steal, even you doing wrong thing, the ball will talk it. You doing the right thing, the ball will praise you.
For real, Papi? No, that kind of thing that we want you all time, yo.
My daughter, I'm telling you, let me tell you now, Logan's Hour come on every Tuesday and Thursday, 6 o'clock p.m. And when you want to watch Logan Hour, you gotta be on time, or else you will watch the show after the show. But guess what?
What, Papi?
Just go to Facebook and subscribe to Logan Hour. You go to YouTube, you subscribe to Logan Hour. Anytime Logan Hour coming on, you will get notification. That the notification made me running at the door, my daughter, because I won't be laying back in my living room, man, and get ready to call on that show.
Papi, thank you so much for the information. But I see Tommy walking, coming it out. I don't know if I ate he looking at too. Oh, Tommy! Tommy!
Oh, what's that? What you calling my name like that for? What you calling my name like that for? Take your time and you get. I'm watching my Looking Hour. Don't that distract me, yo. Wait now. If you ain't got what to do right now, we're already enjoying ourselves. You better get involved with the fries, girl. Tommy? So that today, Papi was telling me that serious thing? I want to look for Looking Hour, yeah. Papi, thank you. Thank you for telling me about Looking Hour.
My daughter, now either don't say I'll tell you. Bye.
In a tunebread.com.
Papi, why you coming for your breathing like that?
My daughter. Hey, my daughter, yeah. The old people can say that curiosity kill the cow. What your own problem again?
Papi, I really don't have problem. But the way you breathing, sir, it's like you're running so well.
My daughter, yaka. If I give you the little G's, you yourself will be running to the same player running. So you just hold it there.
Papi, Papi, play on me now, lay on me. You know I your daughter too now.
My daughter, guess what? I had to run away from Wego. Yaka. Tuesday and Thursday, they got one show in town they call it Logan's Hour. Man, that ball can talk the thing that are happening in Indiana. Even when you steal, even you doing wrong thing, the ball will talk it. You doing the right thing, the ball will praise you.
For real, Papi? No, that kind of thing that we want you all time, yo.
My daughter, I'm telling you, let me tell you now, Logan's Hour come on every Tuesday and Thursday, 6 o'clock p.m. And when you want to watch Logan Hour, you gotta be on time, or else you will watch the show after the show. But guess what?
What, Papi?
It is so. Just go to Facebook and subscribe to Logan Hour. You go to YouTube, you subscribe to Logan Hour. Anytime Logan Hour coming on, you will get notification. That the notification made me running at the door, my daughter, because I won't be laying by in my living room, man, and get ready to call on that show.
Papi, thank you so much for the information. But I see Tommy walking, coming around. I know if that he looking at too. Oh, Tommy! Tommy!
Oh, what's that? What you calling my name like that for? What you calling my name like that for? Take your time and you get. I'm watching my looking hour. Don't that distract me, yo. Wait now. If you ain't got what to do right now, we're already enjoying ourselves. You better get involved with the fries, girl.
All right. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on which part of the world you are. Welcome again to another great edition of the Logan's Hour. We are back again. I know a lot of people have been complaining, hey, where the guy? Trust me, we are back. So let's test all of our devices and make sure we are active and ready. So you can also do same if you have your device with you as well. So just hold on. I'm going to test mine and see if we it's very chilly up here. Trust me, it's very cold. Um, we have been experiencing some snow, and some of you has been like, what this guy, and trust me, I should apologize first because I have been away for some time now, and there's no excuse for my absence. But we have been strategically working on some other things in the background. We've been trying to see how we could engage in in other form of uh, podcasting, because um, one of the most easier way that a lot of people want to get on the podcast is by having a group interactions. So we've been looking at having a room setting kind of podcast where we're going to mount like full microphones on each of the seats, and each of the panelists or guest panelists can sit down and have conversations. So we've been looking into all kinds of things. You know me now. I always this kind of person who always keep looking for new things and looking for new ways to explore. And as God could have it, I have a very supporting wife who's always there to make sure things are happening the way it should. My wife, Summer Princess Liwe Hamu Logan. So we want to say to all of you here who joined us for the first time, we want to say thank you. Those of you who will not join us, we also want to say thank you. Those of you who will just come and spar, we say thank you as well. It has always been a pleasing pleasure being here, serving you, the Liberian people. And because of you, I hear. And you see, I want to tell somebody the other day, but personally, okay, anyway, let me hear it. The late thing you can see us doing here, sitting here for sometimes 2 hours, sometimes 3 hours. It's not something as easy as you think. Number one, it's time consuming. Number two, it's monologue. Most time you hear, I will be here. I have to design a topic. I have to talk for hours. But 2025, we will introduce some new things. We will be very measured. We will love to stick with our topics. We love to, in all fairness, be very, very, very much careful when it comes to time. So if we set up for 2 hours show, the show going to be just 2 hours. We will not be doing what we used to do before, hanging on. Sometimes waiting for maybe sometimes we spend some hours here, and except we have guests and the topic is so interesting, but we're going to be measured with our time. We want to use our time very wisely, because sitting here for 2 hours, 3 hours, it's not something as simple as you think, though. And it has been constraints on me. I can say that for sure. Yeah, it has been a real tough one, but notwithstanding, it's better late than never. We are back. We are back, rep and ready, and it's about time to get it going. So, those of you who just joining us, welcome again to the Logan's Hour. I know some of you felt that we were gone for good. We can't go. We like dump our fire. We had to go off. You let our fire go low, you see the whole fire go up. Only thing you see small smoke going in the air. But that smoke, you're looking at that smoke, can get a whole long fire catching on how we're looking like dump our fire. So don't forget, on Thursday, we have one of Liberia funniest, my own man, Panyanowe. We have Panyanowe on our show on Thursday. You all know about Panyanowe Gene. You not listen to him. Okay, I call it. Hot FM, but you know what used to be on Hot FM. He gave in history about Liberia, but he gave it in a very, very, very funny tone. So you will be here to listen to Payenaware talking about the history of Liberia from 1847 up to today, and talk about current national issues in our dear country, Liberia. So all of you who want to say stick and still, don't give up. We are here. I see my dear brother and friend, Achi. Achi, welcome to the Logan's Hour, my brother. Yeah, you know. So want to say to you all, want to say welcome back again. We will return to our main studio. You know, some people like, why you get in our guest studio? You want to go back to your main studio. We love the main studio. The main studio used to be fire. Yeah. Anytime you see me in that main studio with my Logan Hour sound behind me and my blue background, just know something about to happen. And a lot of people been reaching out to me, say, oh, you know, the Liberian community is so quiet this time. And it used to be so interesting before. And we say, yeah, tuning for the community. We are tuning for the community. Yes, down by your right. I have tried my best to be a little quiet, but I think we are about to get on it again. We are about to talk about the things that matter to the community in Liberia as a whole. All right, so before we go, we want to use this time to say our condolences to Mr. Hottie Palmer. Hottie Palmer lost his dear father, I think, in Liberia. So Hottie, on behalf of the Logan's Hour and all of our followers, we want to say our deeper condolences. We pray that the Almighty God strengthen you. And also, we want to also express our deepest condolences to our dear friend and brother, Mr. Richard Boya, Mr. Richard Boya Jr. Mr. Boya, we want to say our condolences as well. We learned that you lost your dear father. And we want to say, take heart, be strong. And to our dear sister, my dear sister, Wema Boya, take heart too, because, you know, it is the word of the Lord. So let's be strong. And on Saturday, we attended the funeral of one of our own pioneer of this community, one of the people who we met here when we first migrated here, Mr. Thomas Wula. Those of you who knew Thomas Wula, he was commonly called the governor. He always used to have a walking stick, and I think some of you who know him have interacted with him. And it was a very sad thing to have gotten up one morning and to hear that Mr. Wula is no more. And I tried to understand why it happened. But, you know, sometimes it is the will of the Lord. You cannot ask question. God give it, so God take it. And I attended his funeral this gone Saturday. He will be laid to rest in Liberia. a body will be flown to Liberia. And I want to say to the Woodard family, I want to say our deepest condolences. Take heart. We know at this time is very difficult to accept the cold hands of death, but we want to say be strong as family, and we pray that the Almighty God will strengthen you people as well. And those of you who have heard the name and don't know him, um, I'm about to display his picture right here for you to see. This is the person who's bear the name Mr. Thomas Wula. This is him on the screen here. I think you have seen him. He always used to have that his little walking stick with him. And he and I know he's to get along, but at the end of the day, it was sad to hear that he passed because we never had a time to sit and knock glasses and talk about the community, how to move the community forward. We were always on the end that disagrees, but yet and stay, I respected his views on issues. I respected his opinion, but he was a good man. At the funeral, everybody said it. Everybody made mention of his good deeds. And when you see how the funeral was well attended, it shows that he's someone who lived a good life. And everybody made mention of one thing that I admire about them, or about his little life that he lived on earth, was that he was someone who you could trust. He was accountable, and accountability was key on his agenda. So everything he does, it was about accounting for the rest of what happened. So, Mr. Wula, I want to say, as you go and meet my daddy, my little sister, tell them hi. We shall meet again on that fateful day when the Lord shall come. And one of our sisters who just passed away in the Liberian community as well, those of you who follow in the Liberian community, we lost a dear sister. They have posted in the Liberian community chat room about visitation to her family. And let me see if I can pull her name up here as well. I think I remember her name. I used to see her, but we were not as close. We were not as close. I used to see her. She's a very cool lady. She was a very cool lady. Always used to see her in the community, but it was sad to get up and hear that she was no more. And I want to say to the bereaved family as well, take heart and may her soul rest in the arms of the Lord Jesus Christ, when he shall come to judge the living and the dead. So all right, so we'll get her name. We'll get her name. We will announce her name. So some of you already get the story. So don't miss on Thursday. Thursday gonna be what Gene. What Gene going to stir it up. He going to ease all your sadness and things. So today is one special birthday for that one special person. He's no one else but Mr. Takwa Blitty. Today is Derek's birthday. Derek, I want to say to you, happy birthday on behalf of my family and myself. On behalf of the Logan Zao, we want to say happy birthday. Happy birthday. All right. So we want to say to all of our people following us right now, and who some of them don't even know we all, some of them feel that it's an old podcast. But let me announce today's date. Today is January 28, 2025. And so if you're following the podcast, it's a live podcast. I know some people think it's an old podcast. I just replaying. It's a live podcast. It's the 28th of January, Tuesday, the 28th of January, 2025. So you are on the Logan's Hour. And today we are back for the first time after a long period of time. And don't forget, this is your favorite place to be. and we're gonna go through it today. We're gonna talk some real fascinating things. Today is Tuesday. Today we should be talking about motivational hour, but we're gonna talk about we're gonna show light on almost everything. We're gonna talk about our community. We're gonna talk about Liberia. We're gonna talk about what is happening currently in the United States. We'll talk about it, the Indiana old timer as well, and be strong, stick and still. The way I stopped coming for some time. Today going to be a little fiery. I'm going to put some little fire inside. Then Thursday when I come out, put fire. Tuesday I'll put fire. This time we're going to be regular now. We're going to be very consistent. But we were trying to build a new form of podcasting where we have all of our guests sitting in one place, maybe 4 or 5 people sit in like in the living room space or the room space, and everybody have their microphone to their mouth, having champagne or all the wine around you, and we have varieties of different kinds of wine, and we have topics of interest, and we would just open the floor, or you could talk about anything that comes to your mind. We're going to integrate our livelihood, our dieting, our exercise routine, our sexual activities. So those are the things that we don't talk about much because we feel, oh, those are abomination because we're African. But yes, we're going to talk about those. We'll have people who talking about sexual activities. We're going to talk about people who talk about keeping a relationship. We're going to have people who also talk about different. So we have some life coach will be joining us, and some of you who getting ready for the exercises. Don't forget, May is around the corner. By May, it start getting warm. We start getting outside again. Don't forget about yourself. Don't eat too much during the winter, and you get overweight. Then when the summer comes, you don't want to come outside. So please, most of you young girls who right now chilling, don't be like me because most of, if not all of my children I have, they were all produced in winter. Winter can be cold. You got to operate. So don't go operate on it for the winter. And all right, they can't say you get too much baby better than here, right? We need to play keyboard. So we want to see too much baby better than here for the winter. Yeah. They've seen we have stopped now. Yeah, oh, you got to stop. See my brother Elisha Tito Harris, he just laughing. So I just that was just a side talk. That was just a side talk. But don't take it too serious, Don't take it too serious. God knows some people be like, oh my gosh. All right. So on a serious note, I received call from one of my friend, one of my Nigerian friend. He's currently in Nigeria. He had to go to Nigeria to um deal with some family matters, I was surprised today when the call keep coming to me on WhatsApp. I kept rejecting the call. I never knew that was him though, because that was a Nigeria number, and he called me twice. Oh, I couldn't answer. So out of curiosity, I sent him text. I said, "Hey, what's up? What's up? What's going on? Who's this person? I'm busy. Can you send me text?" So he responded to me. He said, "Hey, Philip, this is so and so." I don't know. Anyway, it's not important for me to put a message on the screen. I wanted to just display that because he said I should do that, but I don't think it's important. So he said, "Hey, Philip, this is so and so. I'm currently in Nigeria." I said, "Oh, you went for vacation, Christmas vacation?" He said, "Oh, I just left the United States few days ago. I came to Nigeria, but I think he left at the beginning of January. So I think January 4th or January 5th, or one of them. So he went to Nigeria, and he was returning yesterday back to the United States. But surprisingly, he was stopped. He was stopped. And for his case, he's not a permanent resident, but he have work authorization, and his work authorization can also be used as parole document. So usually those who have work authorization, you can use the work authorization to travel outside the United States and come back with the work authorization, because that's also serve as your proof of residency. So that has parole that he could travel with as well. So I saw that as well. So when he reached out to me, he showed me that, and it's on there. It's clearly indicated that this is a parole document that you can go outside the United States and be back with it. But surprisingly, he was stopped. He was stopped at the airport and questioned, one thing leading to another thing. He was informed that At this time, they cannot admit him into the United States. So automatically he has to return, and he returned on a free flight. And he's currently in Nigeria, and he trying to fight the case because he had a 485 document. Those of you who know the document called I-485, that's a USCIS document, has to do with um, admitting your alien relatives to the United States to gain permanent status. So he was stopped. And right now he's in Nigeria. We stay in communication. We are trying to file some other paperwork because it just happened. So I told him to chill. Don't panic about it because America is a country of law. If you are here legally and you have documents to prove that you are here legally, it's a simple matter. You can't just be denied because of that. So right now I know he's shivering, and first thing he was thinking about his family and his job and everything. But I can rest assure you he's going to be back because one of the necessary clarities I made, yeah, he will be back. And I know for some of our friends who stay going through immigration paperwork, like I do sometimes, I help most of my friends, and I help some other people who comes to me to do some immigration paperwork because I'm not an immigration lawyer, but because I spend more time in the system dealing with immigration, so I have vast knowledge as to the various paperwork to file, the various document, when to file, how to fill them. So I help people doing those documents as well. So if you have some immigration paperwork, um, if you need some consultancy, free of charge, you can also contact me. I will provide some consultancy from my own studies and thing, and that will not be paid for, but I can advise you when it comes to dealing with that because I went through a whole lot when it comes to immigration. I spent a longer time in the system. We went back and forth with immigration. I have done a lot of paperwork. I have people all in the United States that I did the paperwork and they came to the United States as well. I have people who I have done the paperwork to get citizenship. I've done paperwork to get permanent resident. I have done paperwork to get EAD, the one they call employment authorization document. So if you have any issues that has to do with that, make sure if you need help, if you do not have lawyer's fee to file your paperwork, we can also work together to have your paperwork fit up. But be careful as you travel the street. If you do not 100% have your paperwork, I can rest assured you issues that has to do with your green card. Yes, if you have a green card, you are permanent resident. Nobody should make you afraid. If anybody, probably you are the entertainment area or at a store or maybe area where ICE is carrying on a raid. Yes, if you get stopped, yeah, you might get stopped. If they take you whatever place they're going to take you, but they can not just send you back right away. They reach to the point of evaluation where they have to pick the sheep from the wolves. Because even yesterday, I had some Mexican friends who we had these conversations, and they were also having similar situation, and they felt they were in the removal proceeding. Or as God could have it, everybody had to answer the question. Everybody have to show proof of their identity. So even if the physical identity is not on you, some of the easier way to prove your identity is a social security number. If you have your driver's license, you have a social security number. Your social security number going to prove you are here legally, you are permanent resident or you are a citizen. But it is a good thing to travel with your identification, probably your social security card, or maybe your driver's license, if possible your work authorization or your green card. If you are a citizen, you don't need to travel with your whole passport. They got a citizenship card, and that card is cheap. You can expedite it for $65, but at most it's like $35 to $40. It's just a little card, like a debit card. They have all your citizenship information on there. You can also order that online when I mean order it online, you're going to do the same procedure as you're applying for your passport. Then you're going to go and mail all the document and send in your naturalization paperwork or whatever paperwork you have. Then that card will be sent to you as well. But the issue about being careful, yeah, it is true that you want to be careful. Like for committing crimes, if you know you in the business of committing felonial act, yeah, you got to be careful because those are considered high risks because according to, if you do not have your paperwork and want to get involved with things that make no sense, like black money and dubious activities that leads to felony first degree or second degree, avoid them. Because if you have an EAD, which is employment authorization document, that EAD can be revoked because the EAD, those of you who don't know what an EAD is the employment authorization document, and it is a temporary document the USCIS issue to you before they can give you a green card. So most time when you see people who is in the process of filling, after they have filled the I-130, submit that with the form 485. Now, while that document is in process, the USCIS will send you something called the EAD card, which is just a temporary card to have you to have some form of employment. And that form of employment will help you to keep your family going until you can have your green card. But as you have that 2 years temporary card, sometimes it don't necessarily have to be 2 years. Sometimes it can be 1 year. Sometimes it can be 6 months. It depends. It varies on a case by case basis. So if your case is that satisfactory, they gave you the 2 years EAD while they're processing your 10 years green card. But in the process of having your 2 years EAD card, which is the work authorization, you stay going through something called background checks and all of the other stuff that require you to get a 10 years green card. But if you have the EAD card, you got to take something very serious to consideration. At the bottom of the EAD card, they have a specific instruction. If your EAD card has something called the parole, because you have to apply for parole document. If you do not apply for a parole document, your EAD card do not have that parole illustration on there, it means you cannot travel outside the United States with that card, because at the point that card is only for you to work in the United States, but not to use that EAD card to leave the United States, because you do not have parole permission granted on that EAD card. So if you take the risk to say, oh, because I'm here and I have some form of documentation now, I can work, so let me run to my country quick and be back, it will only allow you to exit, but you will not be able to come back. They allow you to leave, but it do not allow you to come back. So sometimes those are some of the conflicts people have, because people think that as soon as they have the work authorization, it means they have temporary status, they can rush quick and be back. Sometimes when you leave, you won't be able to come back because the card you have is only have it only issued to you for work purposes. It wasn't issued to you for parole purposes. So if you want to travel out of the United States with your work authorization, there are another specific document you can file to gain parole status. So when your form 485 is filed to USCIS, then you have to go back again and file the parole document, which is the both document going in simultaneously. So now if that document is granted, then your parole status will be granted as well. Then your parole status will be, it will be written on your card at the bottom of the card. You see it will be in a bold print, and we say yes, this is a EAD card, but granting parole status as well. Whatever way you're going to see is labor, but you're going to see that it's granting you some parole status. So you can use that card now to go outside the United States. You can be back, but make sure your card is not expired, or your card do not have 6 months to be expired. Because the reason why I'm saying your card or your document should not have 6 months to be expired, because so that you have some delays, so you have some hiccups when you have documents that have 6 months. That's why you see USCIS will tell you, say, when you're applying for a new document, you need to at least make sure your documents that you have, your current document you have, has at least 6 months to get expired. Because The processing time is take up to 73 days. So sometimes you see when you file a document with USCIS, you be like, oh, since I filed a document, it been 1 month now, they reply to me, yes. They are still within their legal bounds. They have to take up to 73 days. If there's no response from them within that period, then you have some concern. But before 73 days, they will reply to you. That's why they send you the NOA, what we call the notice of actions. Those notice of action document, they're only clearing out to you that we have received all of your paperwork and we are in the process of dealing with your paperwork, and it's based on case by case. I don't know currently how many immigration officers they have in Indiana, but at the time I used to do a lot of paperwork for people. Immigration have four officers who deal with 485 cases. So sometimes the reason why some people have delay in their cases, some people complain, oh, my document been here forever. Since I filed a document, people haven't gotten back to me, because sometimes they send you NOAs, which is a notice of action for initial document, telling you that, hey, we have received all of your document, but we need some proof of whatever thing, because we want to be satisfied that whatever you are filing for, whatever benefit you are filing for, we need 1, 2, and 3. Sometimes they might need additional what they call affidavit or support, because when you, for example, get married to someone or you filing for someone, and when it has to do with some benefits, they have the threshold, and the threshold has to do with your income. So most time the income basis has to do with single person have to be making at least $35,000 or $34,000 before you can have to sponsor someone. Joint partnership sometimes has to say, well, both of you join your stuff together, have to be at least $40,000 before you can sponsor someone. That's not the threshold I just gave you on aggregate what it requests. So if you do not have like the $40,000 to sponsor someone, or $35,000, and that money they're talking about, you see, most time people get confused thinking that if the USCIS say that your affidavit or support do not meet the threshold to sponsor someone in the United States, you think that because it said $35,000, so you should have $35,000 in your bank account. No, the $35,000 should be reflected on your tax document, which is on your tax document on line 22. Line 22 show your gross earning of a whole year. So if you're working somewhere, they will expect you on a yearly basis, your annual gross salary, it should be at least $35,000, and that $35,000 will enable you to sponsor someone who will be immigrating to the United States. So now there's still a way around that too, though. It's not me because your threshold doesn't meet the benchmark, 35,000 or 40,000 or 50,000, whatever the benchmark may be. So you cannot help someone who is immigrating or who you getting married to as a loved ones to stay or whatever. This is another way you can do it. They get something called a joint affidavit. What joint affidavit means that, for example, trying to file for my relative to stay in the United States, or getting married to this person to stay in the United States, but because the threshold is 35,000 up, and I do not make 35,000, what I'm going to do, I'm going to find a relative of mine or a friend of mine who has a better job, and asking to use his tax paper, and he's not going to agree on that. So now it becomes his responsibility and my responsibility. They both are going to have the joint affidavit. So we're going to put that joint affidavit together to beat up what I had previously that do not meet the threshold. Then we submit those documents. Then we submit those documents. Then the case might just get approved, or they might tell you, say, well, we have received your case and we are reviewing your case and we'll get back to you. But now, whenever there's an issue that has to do with NOAs, anytime you see NOAs, it means just a notice of action. Anytime NOA kind of your notice of action, those are the documents you need, because your NOA carry a receipt number, it carry everything you need. So those documents are so important that you don't want to just lay anywhere. So now, if a document come back to you and say we are needing this 1, 2, and 3, maybe they say we need more evidence on these things that you file. We are not state convinced. We need to provide evidence. Depending on the evidence they might describe in the NOAs, the best to do is to meet the time period. Because for every time they will give you an NOA, the NOA has a stipulated period. So that they tell you, say, oh, this document we sending you, we want it to be addressed in 30 days. We want it to be addressed in 15 days. We want it to be addressed in 25 days. So at that period, you have, like, remember, I said Indiana have 4 officers before, 4 officers that deal with 485 cases. So now those officers have volumes of documents and cases that they deal with. So because the cases are on a case by case basis, if you go beyond the time you're supposed to submit your document, when your document comes, your document is placed at the bottom. Those who pass before you on the case have to keep going before they come back to you. So what happened is this. The best to do is to address the situation as quick as possible. When you receive those NOAs and you have all of the documents to submit them as quick as possible to be able to fit within the timeline. Now, I understand sometimes when people having an issue, they get so afraid they start to panic that USCIS don't want to deal my case, and since I filed my case and I'm not getting no response. And listen, sometimes you get afraid, but it's good. It's good to get afraid. But the best thing to do, I can tell you, is so that you call to find out about your case. So that you go online, you just go USCIS case status and put your receipt number and search your case. They're going to give you an update about your case. And one of the best way to do immigration paperwork, I always tell people, is to create your account. When you create your account, it's much easier to track your case because every information you receive by mail, you receive it in your account before you receive it out of maybe 5 or 7 days in your mail. So it's good to create your account. It's good to check your stuff case by case. And today, I know other people say it is a real hard time to be in the United States. Yeah, it is true. We receive a news today that Labrador is expected to receive 1,563 deportees, which is not a good news, though. It's not a good news. Our brothers and sisters who came to the country trying to hustle. Now imagine small country like Liberia, if 1,000 plus people will be deported, that's a bad one. Because we're already having an issue of zogocracy. Everywhere you turn, Zogo. Everywhere you turn, unemployment rate. Everywhere you turn, something going on. Then imagine some of our brothers and sisters who will be leaving from here to go back. That's a serious thing. That's a serious thing. So we pray and we are hopeful that the United States government will have some compassion on our people. Because 1,600 is a huge number. Though we have followed what happened to Colombia just a few days ago when the president of the United States had a whole flight of deportees going back to Colombia, and the Colombian president rejected those and said that the plane wasn't landing in Colombia. They weren't accepting those deportees, and we saw the harsh measure that the president of the United States were coming out on Colombia, talking about there will be high tariffs, there will be a lot of sanctions on Colombia. Their wives and children and government officials will not be allowed to enter the United States. And there was a compromise reached, because it's like, you want to fight the United States now. You want to fight the United States. There's a common adage that say, when the United States sneezes, the whole world catches cold. And it is for real. Uncle Sam is Uncle Sam. So right now I can say to all of my Liberian brothers and sisters, if you are undocumented, start doing something about it right now. Start doing something about it right now. It is important. You straighten that part of your life and chill later on. Don't go chill. And you get in your car, taking the risk, and you be pulled over for DUI, or you be pulled over for domestic violence, or you be pulled over for something that make no sense. And I was informed today that even the police will soon be instructed to be carrying on some of the work of the USCIS, which means the police is not going to do USCIS work, but if they ask you for your driver's license, they will also be running your background too for lawful permanent status. So, for example, there's a probable cause or maybe a routine check, and the police have some suspicion. Say, hey, we'll pull this car over because we feel that it's a routine check. Okay, park your car. Okay, Mr. Philip Logan, yeah. Do you have your driver license with you? Yes. Do you have your vehicle registration? Do you have your insurance? Yes. Then when they take all the documents, they're going to also run those documents as well as your USCIS or your immigration status. So those are our brothers and sisters who stay in the process of doing their stuff. Be a little more careful. Run after your paper, put business first before you put pleasure. Run after your stuff, get it straightened up, and you can do what else you want to do. But at this point in time, America is not as the way it used to be. The way people never have documents, they were all chilling and doing some stuff and things. Now it's a little tough. So be careful. Be careful. I can say this for sure. Don't don't get into trouble. I won't lie to you. So welcome again. Hold on. My brother James Tonkoli, how are you, my dear brother? Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much, James. I really appreciate you being here. So I know it is a hard one, but let's keep our eyes open. Let's keep ourselves safe, and we can fight the rest of it. But let's keep ourselves safe. Keep yourself safe. We want to hear tomorrow that any of our brothers, our sisters living in the United States for things that make no sense. All right. So let's keep ourselves safe. So today in Liberia, I watched a video on Facebook and I saw my man Yeke Koluba. Yeke Koluba being through all of the Capitol building. It was hold on, let me see something here. You see here? Okay, let me read this news for you here. So this news is when this news came out here. All right, so they say ICE to conduct major immigration operation in 3 cities per week. You hear that? You hear that? So what I was just saying to you, don't take it lightly. Don't take it for play. Put business first before you put pleasure. Yes, so Federal Enforcement Agency are targeting 3 U.S. cities per week for large-scale immigration arrests, with Arizona, Colorado to come next. Yeah, be careful. Be very careful. So let's see what they have here so far, closer to us here. So far this week, Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents, along with other federal laws enforcement agencies, have focused arrests in Chicago in an operation that begins Sunday, and New York City, where arrests begin Tuesday. The efforts will next shift to Aruna for an operation beginning on Thursday morning. So you see that? So they're going to, so a lot of places will be affected by this thing. So my brother and sister, then this is not just about those who are undocumented, but it's also about all of us, because anything that happened to one of us, it happened to every one of us. Yeah. So the scale of people that have been affected by this is very high. It's very hard. So keep your eyes open. Do what you can do. Be safe. And if you need some consultancy when it comes to filing your paperwork, if you've been here, or you already got your paper, or you you're doing whatever paperwork, if you get nobody to help you, call people who you know. You can call me as well. I can serve as consultant. It's not a problem. I do not have a law degree of or immigration law, but I have vast knowledge when it comes to that. I have filed for people, some people you see in your community here today from Liberia. They here. Not one person. I have filed for husband, wife, children. All they are here. I have sat down right here, do green card for people work. They have their green card, work authorization. So do your thing. Do your thing. Put first thing first. Put first thing first. Don't joke. So if you're just joining us, today is the first day we are back after a long break. And on Thursday, we're gonna have Pa. You know what, G? So those of you who know Pa, you know what? Pa, you know what will be here. Those of you who know the pape. And you know, yeah, the pape. My man, Errol Clinton, will be here. So keep yourself safe. All right, let's go to local. Let's have our local conversation now. Yeah. All right. I will leave Labrador top if it. I'm going to Labrador top my local thing here. Labrador Bennigan feeding. When you go check it on the internet, Labrador get, I know how many news stations there all to talk about Labrador business. So we'll talk about our local thing right here, and then Labrador business say that we'll talk about Labrador business later on. So now what happened there? The justices, none of them were present. All of those are important, but let's talk about our local news here. So I got a news hitting my desk here about the Liberian Old Timer Association of Indiana. Woo! And the reason for that level because I can talk. You're the one that people ain't expect me to talk and talk all. What happened in the Old Timer? What happened in the Old Timer? This is the Barrow team of the Old Timer. This is the IE team of the Old Timer. I have been reliably informed that the Old Timer has turned to be like the Liberian House of Parliament, the House of Legislature. The Old Timer is currently having a majority black and a minority black. Yes, sorry. So, well, I heard that, and somebody called me and said, "Oh, guess what?" I said, "Why?" I said, "The Old Timer get minority black now." So this is the IE, so unique, beautiful Jesse, and the Barrow as well, so unique, beautiful Jesse. They will have the Indiana Lone Star, beautiful team as well. We have the Indiana Young Men Association, which we get here, but then again, this time, what happened to them? What happened to the president? But anyway, most of the organizations and things strive to dry season or the summer. So we're waiting to see what's happening. But what happened to the Old Timer? We heard that the Old Timer have some of our members who feel aggrieved or but what I want to say on this issue here is that for those members who have grouped themselves to call themselves the the majority black or the minority black or whatever black they have called themselves, I can say it's a bad thing. It is a good thing as well, because it shows that it's summer going to be so beautiful because we have more than one team in the community. We have another team coming from the other side, and we will play more games if possible. We're having tournament will be able to play you guys as well. That's a good thing. But I want to caution us, all of us, because we are not young people anymore. We are all a group of men coming together for one common purpose. It would be a good thing if other people disagree on the issues of principles and decided that they're going to have their own setting or their own group for the sole purpose of unity and coming together for the same reason the old timer was created for. I would celebrate that. So I'm hoping, because I heard the other day that somebody from the meeting called me the very night and wanted me to join the meeting. And the person said, "Oh, meeting going on. Where you at?" I said, "What kind of meeting?" They said, "Old timer meeting." I said, "No, it's not an old timer meeting." The person said, "Oh, brother, I can share the information. It's a Zoom meeting, blah, 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 blah." I said, "Okay. I ain't going to join the meeting." But the meeting was chaired by my dear big brother, Sylvanus Pele. And I had some of my close friends in the meeting, Ernest Malison, Eugene Doswa, and the rest of the other guys who want to have another old timer club. So that'll be a good thing. Trust me, wholeheartedly. I, for one, I welcome if we can have multiple teams. If we can have 5 teams, that would be so exciting. Because at any time we can just call a tournament, and the tournament going to be fun. My team going against your team going against team B going against team A. But my only concern is we should maintain the respect for each other. We should maintain the togetherness we have shared for a long period of time. We should keep being focused, though. Being focused is the key. But if the sole purpose of that is to show strength, then I'm not interested. Because I always say this, right? You're nobody in any competition. I don't care how your shoe may be big. Somebody's shoe is bigger than yours. I don't care how your pocket may be deep. Somebody's pocket is deeper than yours. Somebody got money more than you. Trust me. I don't care how much money you get. Somebody got money more than you. So the sole purpose of forming another old timer, if that purpose is for us to have these same issues about uniting the community and respect everybody as your comrade, that would be so beautiful. The camaraderie between men. That would be something so amazing that we can play the other guys from the other side and no confusion, no fighting, no resentment, no anger that, oh, AFC and the other one, and that person is supposed to be captain, that person was never captain, that person was all in the time before. Let's leave all those things. My son watching the show, but I want to say all those things, those are all bullshit that we need to waste our time on. If you feel that playing on the other side, having the other guys by you, practicing on the other turf is better, go for it, son. You don't need to find no bogus argument to talk about who used to be the captain, St. Joseph Jenkins Robert Time, and who used to be. It's not a point. The point here is we are together. We can play on Saturday morning. We can knock our glass together. We can share fun together, and we all meet later on, and that's it. For me, I just want to play. I have zero time for all that power and showing strength. Who want to be president? Who want to be captain? Who want to be that? I don't care. I don't really care. I just want to play soccer. I love exercises. I just want to play soccer. Like now, every Saturday morning, I play basketball because in the winter, I go and play indoor basketball. When it get warm again, I come outside and play soccer. I go to the gym. That's the thing I want to do. So who become president? How the Constitution is structured? How the Constitution is structured? Go to hell. Go to hell. And I want to say kudos to my dear friend and brother, Mr. Jeremiah Chie, who has been our captain for the past 2 or 3 years now. 2 years. If I'm making mistakes, somebody can correct me. I want to say kudos to Jeremiah Chie, who has been the captain for 2 years now. Over the reason he just resigned his position as captain, opening it up to other members of the organizations, because he said in his letter, I don't know if anyway, I won't post my brother letter here. He's saying that it will be a perfect opportunity for other people to step in the role, to play the role for captain. So if some of you who going to farm the minority black feels that it was the position being a captain, now Jeremiah have stepped aside. It's open. Any of you can be going captain. Me, I don't want to be captain. I want to be someone who can just do anything you want me to do. That's all. That's all. So we'll have the captain, if possible, next year by March or May, when the organization started as well. The coach might already exhaust his time being coach. You'll be open again for re-nomination. So it depends. If the coach say, well, due to family issue, I think I'll be basic this year. I have more other things I added to my plate. I have no time to be soccer coach. Somebody you step up to the plate and become the coach. We shouldn't be this way where when we have suffered and put something together, then that spirit of disunity come and spoil everything again. They will start from scratch. They will start scratching our hair. Where are we going? Look at the thing we're going fine, but we know where it come from again. We spoil it. That mentality that I said the other day and people misconstrued, that crab in bucket mentality, it has to stop. I'm asking that we maintain this relationship we have built for the time. We shouldn't politicize our exercise. Because if you put politics in exercise, then that obesity coming next. And we should be a wrong one to do. Let's keep our eyes open. Let's keep being focused. And let's keep our eyes on the ball. We are all men in the community. We can do things differently. It ain't necessarily got to be the old way. It ain't necessarily got to be the old way. So we can fix it and we can make it better. Trust me. But when I got the news, I was sad. The first thing that came to my mind was, it is a good thing. But if it reached to the point where we have to form ourselves in different groupings, that makes sense, because we can play. We can have tournament. We can invite a group from the other side. We can invite a group from the other side. We can invite a group from the other side. But it should be for the sole purpose of unity. Unity. Unity should be the hallmark of the day. Trust me. With all unity, we cannot live here together. If you see so far in the Liberian community, there have been bereavement upon bereavement, death news upon death news. Jeremiah, we will open it for call, brother. You know, I've been off for a long time, Jeremiah. So let me just talk small then. I'll open it up. I've been away for a long time. So I just touching everything that concerns me, all the news I've been receiving here. So let me touch it small. But when I open my video, you want to Jeremiah, they're gonna bring it up for a bit too much politics. Yo, I just try to show my little on the old timer issue. Small, I already passing it. There have been death news ranging from the president of the Liberian community. He lost his son, and Pastor Whitty lost his wife, and other members of the community who lost their loved ones Today we have Mr. Horty Palmer lost his daddy. We have Mr. Richard Boya lost his daddy. We have our dear sister who just passed in this community, hasn't been laid to rest. We have Mr. Tomo Wula who was just here with us. He's gone. So when you think about how it's so easy for people to just leave this world, the only thing that runs to your mind is how can we live together with our confusion? How can we be happy? How can we move this place to become a better place for us all? You know, I listened to one sermon that resonated so well with me. And that was this gone Saturday in the All Christian Assembly Church by Pastor Samuel Yukonje Lloyd. And he portrayed it so well to the point where Pastor Law, yeah, Pastor Law has some illustration with the candles, and he led those candles on the pulpit. And he had those candles lighted at the very same time. And those candles that you saw on the pulpit represents you as a human person. And the lighting of the candle has to do with your existence and your longevity. That's why he was trying to portray. So he had people light those candles at the same time, and all of them starts to burn, and the burn, and the burn, and the burn. Surprisingly, some of the candles reached at the bottom and went off. Some of the candles went off at the earlier stage, probably because of breeze. Some of the candle went off in the middle because of probably it had some water in the candle, or the lines wasn't better in the candle, or whatever way some of them went off. And the crux of this story is that God created us to live our life in stages, in seasons, and in time. And this story resonates with what I just said because we are here for a very short period of time. None of us know whenever our candle going to go off. So that's why it is important that we keep together. Because at any time, we might be out of here. Our candle might go off. And the little memories we will leave behind, that's why we come. Because you could be a little boy and your candle can go off. You might be as old as Methuselah, your candle might go off. The day you were born, you began to die because you were placed in time to live your life in seasons. The reason why I brought this story, I try to tie it to what I just talked about. I'm not in no way discussing my old timer that I love so dearly because it keeps me healthy. It keeps me exercising. But just trying to say that if for any reason, if there will be some separation, if there will be some breakout, let's just maintain the respect we have had over the time. Respect the other guys respect the other group. We can have practice session, join together sometime, or we can have games that people are going to be invited. But whatever the situation may be, let's have respect for each other. Let's move this community forward. There shouldn't be the case where if it's not me, then it cannot be you. Trust me. We are all young. We can do it. There have been so many things that we can do together. But it's just the matter of the will. So again, if you don't know, you are here on the Logan's Hour, and today is Tuesday. All right, so I just receiving calls, like what I said, I've been here for some time, and I always let a spark fire. I always like to create those little noise here and there. I get 3 missed calls, 3 messages here. Both sides want to speak, and it will not be a good thing at this point. In all fairness, to have the both sides speaking on the old timer issue, I don't think it will be a good thing. The old timer, we are united, we are strong, we are not a political organization. I received both messages here. And I think I'm going to do that to bring the old timer to early public discussions. I know the time will come where we have game setter and the other side will be telling you we're going to beat you, we'll win you, you're not get player for all. Then we say, whoa, we get player. Other people say, oh, we get player. Having tournaments. That will be a better one. But now to bring the old timer at this early age for people to start justifying the reason for why they won't be part of the old group, and the old group justifying why people are leaving, that won't be the right time to do that. So we're going to come back here and we have this discussion, and where everyone will be invited. But today is our first day. We're just coming back after a long period. And don't forget, we have this man here coming. His name is Panyinowe Jean. All of y'all who know Panyinowe, join me on Thursday as we work on the Pape Panyinowe. And until we meet again, we want to say it is a pleasing pleasure to be here serving you. And don't forget, like it though, the Logan Hour is back. We're going to be more stronger than before. We're going to be more forceful than before, but we're just going to be in a more refined ways. So we want to say thanks to all of you who joined us today, and thanks for all of you who will join us in subsequent time. Until we see you again, we want to say good night and bye-bye.